We're going to start today's program with a panel. We had intended an employer to join us, but our employer from Butler Machines is stuck in somewhere in South Dakota, where I think there's a blizzard. So let me invite the student, and we'll introduce these folks in just a moment, an instructor who will be on our panel to join us here on the stage. Brian and Edith. Great. Thanks. As I noted earlier, one of the, as they come to the stage, just let me mention, one of the 4 measures used to award the prize is the effectiveness in community colleges in helping people get to jobs, and jobs that have good earnings. You don't have to look at labor market data for very long to realize that a lot of the high-wage, high-demand jobs that are out there right now are in the science, math, engineering, and technology fields. And we have a student here with us today and an instructor who are working in those fields. And we thought that we would just ask them a few questions and hear a little bit about their stories. So Edith Rodriguez, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and the college you're attending and what you're studying. I'm
currently studying electrical engineering at Santa Barbara City College.
Great. Did you always know that you wanted to be an engineer?
No. I didn't. As the first one out of my family to attend college, I wasn't familiar with engineering, and during high school, I didn't take the opportunity to explore this field because education was something that was not important to me at that moment. It wasn't something that it was a priority to me. I come from a hardworking family. I have hardworking parents, aunts and uncles, and they came here from Mexico with having only completed a 5th and 6th grade education. So I wasn't taught or guided to embrace education. So as the kids of the family, including my cousins and I, at a young age, we became involved in gangs and drugs. And after taking this route, I started getting in trouble, and education was far from being a priority to me. And I started going my own way, and I just kind of followed what I thought would be right for me, and that was the only kind of life that I was familiar with. So that's where I started off, and I remember being incarcerated at juvenile facility centers several times, and I remember the last time that I went in there, I was about to turn 18, and I remember the judge, he was really like strict, and he was just like kind of tired of seeing me come in and out a lot. So yeah, so I remember him being really like straightforward and telling me, you know, like, this is your last chance. Like, next time you come back in here, you're gonna be looking at a longer like punishment and more like severe consequences. And that was like a big wake-up call for me, because here I was, my parents came to the United States to provide a better life for us, and I wasn't taking advantage of that. So that was a big wake-up call to me, and I knew I had to do something different.
So about the same time, there were some folks from Santa Barbara City College, one of the 10 finalists here today, who were at your high school, or how did you get introduced to the college?
Yes, I was a senior at Santa Barbara High School, and we had a presenter that day, and the presenter came in and he talked about college and the importance of education in our future. And at the same time, I was trying to do something different with my life, and I didn't know what that something different would be, but he gave me tremendous direction. That day, I knew I could do something different. I'll be the first one in my family to go to college.
But there's a big gap between this idea of somebody coming and saying you can go to college and then actually enrolling. Tell us a little bit about that pathway. I mean, how did you actually walk up that hill, walk across that parking lot to the college? What led you to believe that that's something you could do?
Soon after this presentation, we had another presenter, and he was a counselor at Santa Barbara City College. His name is Adolfo Corral, and he came in to talk about the Running Start program, which is a 6-week summer bridge program for high school students, and they help you prepare for college. They help you get used to college and help you learn more about college. And that was something that I really needed help with, because I didn't know anything about college. I was scared when I decided I wanted to go to college. I was a little intimidated. So I got his contact information. I was like, I need to be in that program. I have to be in that program. And I remember emailing him so many times and like calling him so many times, telling him, I want to be in that program, like really want to be in that program. And I was given the opportunity to participate in this program, and through this program, I was able to learn more about college, learn more about scholarships, financial aid, and they really helped me with my math and English because I was behind in my education, so they helped me with all of that. And I was also exposed to other services in the campus, to like other counselors, and eventually, it was actually through one of my talks with the counselor that I decided I wanted to go into engineering. I remember like telling her, it was like, I believe it was like the end of my second year at Santa Barbara City College, and I didn't really know what to study. So I remember going to her office and telling her like, I need help. I don't know what I want to study. And she started like asking me, she's like, oh, well, what are you interested in? And I told her, I really like math. I feel like that's one of my strengths since like I was like in elementary. And she told me, she's like, well, she started talking about computer science and engineering. And it was all foreign to me. I didn't know what she was talking about. Yeah, I remember just going along with it. Yeah. But she did mention something that caught my attention, and it was, she said, these classes require a lot of math courses. I was like, oh, okay, that I could do that. I was like, okay, that's it. I'm a computer science major. They require a lot of math. Sign me up. I want to do this. Right. And that's when I decided I wanted to be a computer science major. But from then, I became involved with the MESA program, Mathematics, Engineering, and Science Achievement. And they help you prepare, they help you learn more about engineering, and they help you like stay on track so you could transfer to a four-year university. Yeah, and
so I understand you're now a tutor for other students in math.
Yes, I did do tutoring last semester, and now I just like help friends and whoever knows that. Because I've done several classes there, so I help other people with their math. Yeah.
Great. So tell us about your plans. You have one more year to go. Is that right?
Yes, I'm planning on transferring.
Okay.
I apply this fall 2013. Yes.
And where do you think you might go?
I'm looking into UC San Diego, University of Southern California, and Michigan State University right now. But
Great.
I'm still learning more about schools. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing this.
Thank you.
Brian Evensen here from Lake Area, from Walla
Community College.
Excuse me, the employer was here from Lake Area Tech, from Butler. So we just heard from Edith about her plans to transfer to a four-year college in engineering. Your program at Walla, though, is aiming for helping students get the skills they need to directly enter the workforce. Tell us a little bit about the program that you're
Sure. First, I'd like to thank the Aspen Institute, though, for allowing me the opportunity to speak about our college. We have a energy systems cluster, and it contains 3 separate tracks that you could go on that are basically electrical-based tracks, either wind turbine maintenance or electrical or HVAC. Our students choose a path in one of those 3 directions, and they receive an Associates of Applied Science to your degree.
Great. So tell us a little bit about the students who are enrolled in that program.
It's a bit of a long conversation. They're a diverse group of students, to say the least. We do have some traditional students that come in, fresh out of high school, ready to go to college. But we also have everything from worker retraining, meaning they've unexpectedly lost their job and they're seeking employment. We have students that are just looking to better their situation, their current situation. And most of these people, they all have 3 main goals. It's just to go back to school, to have a livable wage, to have benefits, and ultimately have a job that they're passionate about, look forward to going to work.
So what specifically what does your program look like if I were to walk onto your campus, and I have, but describe what it looks like. What does the classroom look like?
It's much different than typical college classrooms. We deal a lot with hands-on training. We try to get out of the classroom as much as possible, to be quite frank. We've invested heavily into Rockwell automation equipment for training PLCs. We have Amatrol motor control training equipment, mechanical drives trainers, and this is all paramount equipment. It's a necessity. You can't train a hands-on workforce with a textbook. You have to put their hands on the equipment, and that's what we try to do. We treat it very much like a job.
So the workforce outcomes out of your program are strong. Can you say a little bit about what your placement rates are, what students are earning?
Yeah, absolutely. What our students are earning fresh out of college is typically $42,000 to $48,000 a year, and we have about an 85% placement rating when you take into account all clusters.
Great. So what enables you to see those levels of success? I mean, those are pretty high wages. I think for a lot of recent graduates from four-year colleges or other two-year programs, they would welcome that. Yeah,
and our program is different. There are not a lot of programs like this across the country that I've seen, especially compared to the WIN program. We hold a standard of an employer to employee instead of a student to a teacher atmosphere. You can't show up on the job, for example, in shorts and flip-flops, and we don't allow our students to do that either. We encourage that they have to wear a uniform. We grade heavily on attendance and accountability. Safety is paramount in this industry. So we need our grading to reflect that, and that's what we try to do is get these guys workforce ready. They can't just show up and take quizzes and tests and pass the class. They have to be accountable. So
I think when most people think of a college instructor, they think about a PhD who is sitting in a classroom. Tell us a little bit about your pathway to your
It's
job.
funny you bring that up. Actually, I have a PhD. I do not have a master's degree. I'm a journeyman electrician by trade. I actually got my education through the Electrical Training Institute of Southern California, which is an affiliate of the IBW, Local 11, Los Angeles. In fact, and the cat's out of the bag for my boss, but I didn't even apply for this job. My wife did.
Wait, you competed against your wife for the job, or
No, not necessarily. I distinctly remember coming home from work one day, and she said, "You know, I saw this job posting that I think you'd be incredible for. The community college is looking for an electrical instructor to teach for their wind turbine technician program." And I said, "You're crazy. They don't need some blue-collar electrician to teach their students." And turns out, once again, my wife was right and I was wrong. But that's what they were looking for. The community college is very interested in having technicians train technicians, not engineers training technicians. And that's kind of what the dynamic that I try to bring to the class is again, relating with them from my experiences on the job and what employers expect. I really try very, very hardly to instill in my students that being dependable and being on time and having the right attitude and work ethic is tenfold more important than being the smartest guy on the job, because the smartest guy on the job that you can't depend on is not going to excel.
Great. Well, thank you, Brian, for all of the work you're doing and the great things you're doing for students, and thank you, Edith, for joining us, and to all of the PhD professors who are teaching Edith as well. Thanks.